Welcome to SC Custom Design. Steve, you are not in your wood shop, and who is that lady? All right, so that's the who I call the lovely one. So we are combining skill sets. I don't have her skill set for sure. She made this shirt. She makes all these beautiful wedding dresses, etc. And she also has technology up in her sewing room called a projector. And what does that got to do with woodworking? She has graciously accepted my request to send her a file for which she opened up with her software. And that file is then projected. There we go. Thank you. That file is then projected. We'll try to move gently down onto this table and onto this mat here. And I won't try to name any of that. But before we start, I just want to, as a follow up, you'll recall that we made this clapper. And what is that called again?
Yes, a tailor's clapper.
A tailor's clapper. And
It's been really, really useful. I've used it several times already, and it does a wonderful job.
cool. And we even went to the next level. You said, can we make it smoother? And I went over how I did that. So, and I asked her how it's working out, and apparently it's still smooth,
It is.
like baby.
When you first use it, it raises the grain just a little bit, but then after it sits, it's soft again, just like brand new.
Nice. Okay, enough of that. All right,
So
this
let's
is
get on the
exciting. I'm
project.
going to hand the video over to her. So the end goal is to get onto this piece of wood somehow that
Image.
the image. All right, go ahead, take it.
So I initially got the projector for pattern make for cutting out patterns. That it projects things. You can change it to be to scale, and once you do, then you can project your pattern down and cut it without having to draw out and cut a paper pattern. It's a big time saver, and it's a lot less effort. So to do this project, we wanted to make a headboard for our bed. I wanted it to be sort of like a sleigh bed, but different. I want to tuft it and have it to be a curved tufted headboard. So we had the idea to project it onto the table and adjust it to size and draw it out and see how it fits in our space. So the first thing we did is Steve converted the picture I needed to a PDF file and sent it to me. I loaded it to a PDF viewer and we experimented with different sizes. This one is about 120, about 120% the photo size. Not that it really matters. It all depends on what the size the picture really was. But it's close to the drafted size that the artist originally rendered. So what we're going to do is, now as you can see, it's not showing the entire length of the board. We want to trace out this board and then alter it according to what we desire. And it's actually about 5 to 10 inches longer than what will fit on my projector screen. So what we're going to do right now is I cut some brown paper, which is really good for a lot of more durable projects. And I'm going to use my pattern weights to weigh it down and trace it out. Now we measured it, and we want about 42 inches, but it's going to be shaped a little bit differently. It's got the nice curve that we want. I might want it a little bit wider, more depth to it, but we'll decide on that in a bit. But we want it to curve around and then come flat at the top, so I'll be altering that a bit. The reason we're doing this is when it's finished, it's going to have a little shelf for our clock and things like that that we want near the bed. So let's see, I want to move my desk over a little bit and measure it out. 42 inches is what we want. I'm just going to jot a few lines on this, just so that I remember where my parameters are. So right now I'm just going to shut this light off so it'll be more visible. Oh, on the program, you use this process, one of the buttons that you can use is invert colors. Without inversion, when you look at the paper, you can see that your markings don't show up very well. So I'd learned from a Facebook group that it's better to invert your colors, and it's amazing how much better the resolution is and the sharpness of the picture. So I'm going to shut off my light so it's easier to see.
And we're not sponsored by any of the programs we're looking at, by the way.
We're sponsored by
Any of these
nothing right
companies.
now. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to trace this out.
This is the part where you don't want me to do this. 'Cause I can't hardly even draw a straight line.
But I've been tracing things for years, so my ability has grown a lot.
I believe you did go to college for art.
Yeah, but that was lost a long time ago. I'm
Oh, look, you
purposely
went
widening
off.
it out
That's interesting.
because that's what I want.
Okay.
That I know I want, and so I'm doing that already. Now what I'm going to do is I want to draw it out completely the way it is before I decide where I want to shorten the scale. Because I don't want to just scale it down. I like the size it's projecting, but it's going to need to be shorter, and so I'm not sure if I want to take it off down here, take a little bit out in the middle, or cut it off at the top and bring the curve down at the top. So I'm going to draw the whole thing out to get a good look at it. So one thing I do is, if you could see right here, this is the last inch that is projected. So I like to use the little hand piece, and I'm going to leave it there as I drag the screen over, and it's going to show us where we left off. There are other ways to annotate, but this is just quick and easy. So see, my hand is here. I can take my paper up to that point. Line it up. And continue the rest of the drawing. I put them in the way. They're fine. Thank you. While being converted, it did make some errors. I'm just going to ignore it. And that's what we have right now. So we're going to need to take this. I'm going to roughly cut it out, giving room to make all the changes and adjustments. And we're going to take it upstairs and try it out in that room.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for allowing me into your world, into your and this is really, really cool. I like it how the woodworking is meeting the sewing room and all the things that you do in here. All right, thanks for watching. This is yet another video in the series of making the sleigh bed headboard. And stay tuned for other episodes as we progress. Thanks for watching.